Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kwame. Yes, I know it's been ages. I was relocating from Queensland to Victoria. So yes, I've finally moved from Brisbane to Melbourne. I did one or two documentaries and I'm going to share the video with you guys as we move on next year. Today, I want us to look at the Australia's migration strategy for 2024 and I think 2025. A lot of people are talking about this, and I just thought before the year ends, I also do a deep dive and also share one or two opinion. Before we get ahead with this video, just know that I'm not a migration agent or an educational agent, so please use any advice in this video as general advice only. And yes guys, I will be sharing my opinions, so you might agree with me or disagree with me, but hey, we are all here to share ideas. I'll also highly recommend you do your own due diligence by doing your own research, so you can back up everything I say here with also your own research. Without talking too much, I'm going to share my screen, then we do this deep dive. See you on the other side. Okay guys, so before we get into the deep dive, just know that I got every information from this PDF. You can find this PDF on the imi.homeaffairs.gov.au website. I'm also going to leave a link in the description section below, so please click on it and read through. Okay, I'll highly recommend you read through. This is a 99 pages document. I'm not going to go through all this because this is going to take forever to go through, so I'll basically throw light on just 3 points, and I believe this 3 points is going to be beneficial to you guys. All right, so the first key point I want to discuss about is the skills in demand visa. The skills in demand visa is replacing the temporary skills shortage, which is the TSS subclass 482. So within next year, they are going to take away visa subclass 482, which is really sad. But in taking away visa subclass 482, they are going to introduce something called a skills in demand visa, and they've grouped this into 3 parts. So they have the specialist skills pathway, the core skills pathway, and the essential skills pathway. With the specialist skills pathway is basically Australia targeting people with high skills. So if you're earning over 135 Australian dollars and above, be able to apply for this visa. I've got a document here I want us to review, and that throws more lights in regards to this. Okay guys, so there's an article from Visa Envoy, okay? And I'll leave the link to this article in the description section below so you guys can also read. It says skills in demand visa. They've grouped this skills in demand visa into 3 categories, as you guys can see here. So the tier 1 is the specialist skills pathway. No occupation list is applicable. So with this specialist skills pathway, the government will not basically give out any skills occupation list. So basically, if you're earning over $135,000 per year, okay, you qualify to apply for this sort of visa. So guys, if you're highly skilled and you are living overseas, this is your chance. So make sure you get all your certifications ready, so when they release legislations to this sort of pathways, you can take action and apply. The second tier is called the core skills pathway, as you guys can see here. So this would be basically the exact same thing we are actually following now, okay? And most of you guys will be eligible to apply for this core skills pathway. So with this, it's a simpler and regularly updated core skills occupation list managed by Jobs and Skills Australia. So there's another entity here called the Jobs and Skills Australia. That is their website. Again, I'm going to leave this in the description section below so you guys can review. So this core skills pathway is going to be managed by the Jobs and Skills Australia. And the last T is the essential skills pathway. So this is for occupations earning under 70,000 per year but working in essential skills occupations. Further assessment by the government is being undertaken on the best way to introduce this pathway. This pathway is likely to be sector specific, with stronger regulatory framework, minimum standards, and ongoing advice from the Job and Skills Australia. Again, they are giving more power to Jobs and Skills Australia. So the next point I got from this Australian migration strategy is having the net migration. What they are proposing is by 2025, they are going to basically have the 500,000 people that migrated to Australia to 250,000 people. So they are going to cut the amount of people that can enter Australia by June 2025. Are they going to achieve this? Let's see. Okay, guys, so there's an article from the Sydney Morning Herald. And when we get into the article, it says here how net migration blew out. Okay, when we come down to the third paragraph, it reads, the government's budget in October last year, which is 2022, forecast net migration would be 235,000 in the year of June 2023. But this was revised to 400,000 in the budgets in May this year. So when they released the budget this year, they increased from 235,000 to 400,000. The government will confirm on Monday that the actual intake was 510,000 people. So the budgeted 235,000 migrants will be coming to Australia this year. And when they released the budget in May this year, it was revised to 400,000. And in December, they actually knew that 510,000 people had migrated to Australia. So now they've got a plan, okay? So they've got a plan to cut this down. So by 2024, which is next year, they've got a plan to cut this 510,000 down to 375,000 migrants coming in this year. And by 2025, okay, they are planning to cut that down to 250,000. From next year going, the amount of people that are migrating to Australia are going to be slashed, and by 2025 they'll slash down to 250,000 people coming in. Yeah, so guys, so they will be reducing the number of people that can migrate to Australia by 2025. And last but not the least, I know most of you guys will be looking into the students. They are changing a lot of things in regards to students, okay? Students that are coming in, because they've noticed that both the students and also educational providers are exploiting the system. So they are making things tougher for students to migrate to Australia. So the number 3 is higher English requirement for international students. International students will now need higher English proficiency for visas. Okay, so on my list here, we've got increased IELTS score. Let's go and have a read into how much they have increased the IELTS scores. Okay, so this article is by Study Australia. So this is another government website. So when you go to studyaustralia.gov.au, you find this article there, and this article was actually released 2 days ago, which is the 22nd of December 2023, and this is again in regards to the Australian migration strategy that was released on the 11th of December this month. So let's look at the key features. So when we go to the higher English language requirements, okay, they've actually summarized everything here. So the test score required for a temporary graduate's visa will increase from an international English language testing system, which is the IELTS or IELTS score or equivalent of 6.0. So the score used to be 6.0. They are going to increase that to 6.5, which is okay. To me, this is not too bad. The test score required for a student visa will now increase from IELTS 5.5 to 6.0. Again, this is not too bad. And also with those that are taking the ELICOS, they are going to increase that from 4.5 to 5.0. The test score required for students that are taking university foundation or pathway programs that deliver reputable English language training will be IELTS 5.5. I know a lot of people are complaining about this, but to me, these are okay. They are actually doing this because they believe people that cannot speak English properly, once they get to Australia, those are the ones that most people will target to exploit them. Okay, so the next on the list is stricter requirements for education providers. So the government will be introducing new agencies and also stricter requirements to tighten education providers, because they've noticed most of these educational providers are exploiting the system. Okay, so they are introducing new measures to strengthen the system. When we go up here to, they are getting rid of the GTE, which is the genuine temporary entrance requirement, to something called the GSR, which is the genuine student requirement. So this is also going to toughen the system. So they stop students that are just using a student visa to travel to Australia to gain greener pastures. But if a student says they are actually migrating to Australia to study, then they are migrating to Australia to study. That's why they are getting rid of the GTE, which is the genuine temporary entrance, to GSR. This actually makes sense. There's going to be a clear post-study pathways. The strategy provides clear post-study pathways. This includes opportunities to stay and work in Australia for a limited time, and for some graduate pathway to permanent residency. So this is basically saying that once you finish your studies in Australia, okay, there's going to be a clear pathways for some courses to be permanent residents in Australia, depending on the demand of those skill sets in Australia. And with some too, there's going to be a clear pathway for some to gain work experience once they finish their studies in Australia. So this is also good news. And when we come here, simplified temporary graduate visas. So this is basically saying is they are going to restructure the graduate visas, which is visa subclass 485. The sad news in regards to this is if you are over the age of 35, you'll not be able to apply for this graduate visa 485. So they are cutting down the age limit, which is 50 to 35. I don't know how this is going to affect the current students that are currently studying in Australia that are going to turn over 35. What happens to them when they finished their studies? I don't know. We just have to wait and see. But this is the only negative news in regards to this. And they are also going to reduce the length of stay after you've been given the graduate visa 485. They are going to shorten the duration. So again, I'm going to leave the link to this article in the description section below. It's worth reading, guys, so I'll highly recommend you guys go and have a read for yourself. So these are my 3 takes, okay, the 3 most important takes I took from that 99 pages 99 lengthy pages document. If you have any questions, comment below and I'll be there to help you guys out. Now, why is the government doing this? Okay, so why are they making all these changes to the visa systems in Australia? So what I can say from this is the economic focus. The migration changes aims to boost Australia's economy and support better long-term planning for infrastructure. Okay, so to explain why they are making all these changes, when we come to the migration strategy article or PDF, when you go down to page 11 and 12, it throws more light as to the reason why they are making all these changes. So let's quickly go down and do a deep dive. So when we come to page number 11, all right, it says here the government's vision is to get migration working for the nation. All right, and these are some of the problems they want to solve. So raising living standards by boosting productivity, meeting skills shortage, and supporting exports. And the second one is ensuring a fair go in the workplace by completing jobs, wages, and conditions for all workers and preventing migrant worker exploitations, which also makes a lot of sense. The third one is building stronger Australian communities by better planning the migration intakes and giving the migrants the opportunity to invest in their lives in Australia through permanent residence and citizenship, which also makes a lot of sense. The fourth one is strengthening international relationships by building stronger economic and social connections with our region and international partners. And the last but not the least is making the system work by being fast, efficient, and fair for migrants and employers. So to me, this is for the better, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's to make things easier for us and to also make the visa processing times easy, and is to also stop employers that are underpaying workers, okay, and to also make sure workers get good pay for the job they do, and to also stop like people that are migrating to Australia to seek greener pastures or taking advantage of the system. So all these points actually makes a lot of sense. All right, even though they are going to tighten up things, I think it shouldn't affect us too much. So if you are really serious to on migrating to Australia, these changes shouldn't affect you. I know sometimes we the media we make things sound so scary, but once you start the process, things shouldn't be that scary. And when you come down here to the page number 12, it breaks things down into 8 points. So the 8 key actions in the migration strategies are, so all these key points makes a lot of sense. Okay guys, so my take on this is it doesn't sound too bad, because sometimes we the media makes things sound so scary with these immigration laws. Come on guys, every year they try to make changes. I know these changes is going to be a lot, but once we understand the sort of changes they are trying to implement, and once they legislate everything, and once they start processing the new skills occupation list, we'll get used to it. Okay, so every year they try to make this sort of changes, and for me it's for the better. With in regards to the international students, the only thing I don't really agree with is them cutting the age from 50 to 35. I think that is a bit harsh, because I know there are a lot of people that are about to graduate from their courses that are going to be over the age of 35 years old. So what is going to happen to them if they cannot apply for their graduate visas, for the visa surplus 485? What is going to happen to them? That I find that a bit skeptical, and I find that to be a bit harsh. Hopefully they amend that, but if they don't, then what can you do? But in regards to them increasing the IELTS, as we read, they've only increased by 0.5, which isn't too much, and which will not also affect a lot of people, because I know people that are getting IELTS of 6 and above. Some people are getting 7 and above. So by them increasing from 6 to 6.5, or from 5.5 to 6, wouldn't affect too much. And in regards to student visas too, I know they are taking away the GTE and they are bringing the GS. So with these, all I'll have to say is, before you even think of coming to study in Australia, make sure you have a clear pathway. Because with these requirements, if you come to Australia, let's say you want to do nursing, and you come to Australia and you find out that the uni fees for nursing is too expensive, you'll not be able to change to another course. So before you even think of migrating to Australia to come and study, make sure you do your research and have a clear pathway. Because once you choose a course and once you apply for the course, just know that once you get to Australia, you'll not be able to change courses easily. This new system is not going to make it that easy for you guys. But in the longer term, I think it's for the good, because now they've made things easier. If you study a course that is in high demand in Australia, once you finish your course, there's going to be a clear pathway for you to becoming a permanent resident, which is awesome. Also, they'll give you some time for you to gain work experience in Australia, which is also awesome. So the news is not all negative. For me, I think there's more positive in regards to negative news. Again, I'll highly recommend you go and read this long 99 pages article. It's going to give you more insight. I'll also try and share more links in the description section below that is going to help you guys out. My name is Kwame. If this is the first time you're coming on this channel, please show some love. Click on that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you do not miss out when I release another video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you guys. I love you guys. See you in my next video. Bye.